Today I thought I would talk about one of the most thought-provoking books that I read in April, and that is Alice and the Fly by James Rice, and this is James Rice's debut novel. And considering that, I think he did a really great job with this book. It wasn't the most amazing thing I'd ever read, but I massively enjoyed it. When I was reading this book, I realised something quite strange, in that I realised white middle-class teenage boys had become a minority in my reading. I think as a teenager there were a lot of books that I really enjoyed that had like quite a middle-class white male teenage narrator who was a bit socially awkward. And reading this book I realised how long it's been since I saw a character like that, and I think that's partially like a subconscious and conscious effort to read more diversely and read more about women than men. This isn't just a book about an awkward teenage boy, this is about a traumatized and mentally unwell teenage boy. It's about phobias and obsessions and mainly isolation and what that can do to you mentally. And our protagonist Greg isn't the only one that suffers from these type of things. First off, Greg has a fear of them, which is in bold and with a capital T. And it becomes apparent quite quickly what them are, or what they are. And I don't know if this is a spoiler alert, I don't think it is, because I think it becomes clear quite quickly that they are spiders. I do think I'm going to present this book to you with a little trigger warning for spiders. I felt very anxious in scenes where Greg was talking about how he sees spiders, and reading it before bed was not a good idea for me. Like, this is not a scary book, but if you are scared of spiders, the descriptions of them will probably make you feel quite uneasy. A lot of the time they are not real spiders. In fact, most of the time they're not real spiders. They are just what Greg imagines. He imagines them crawling on people, which even just saying that and thinking about it starts to make me feel a little bit uneasy. So when Greg was 6 or 7, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. I'm not going to go into all of my thoughts on schizophrenia because it's a bit controversial, it's a bit long. His mum can't quite remember whether he was 6 or 7 when he was diagnosed, but this has been something he's been dealing with for a considerable amount of time, and that has definitely affected how he's grown up. He's bullied in school, he's quite neglected at home. All of these issues become entangled with his obsession with a girl he sees on the bus called Alice. He thinks Alice is Audrey Hepburn beautiful but with red curls. And this obsession grows throughout the novel until it reaches sort of its climax. What this obsession kind of stems from is really touching and really quite sad, because this obsession really stems from the fact that Alice acknowledges that Greg is a human being. All that is a smile, like a friendly smile to a stranger. A lot of people, including myself, have made the suggestion that if you enjoyed A Curious Incident of a Dog in the Nighttime, you will really enjoy Alice and the Fly. And I think one of the reasons that comparison is made so much is, like we do with The Curious Incident, Alice and the Fly shows you this guy's perspective. It shows you everything through his eyes, and it helps you to understand what he's going through. To a certain extent, unless you have experienced exactly what he experiences, you can never truly understand it. And as well as that, Greg is definitely an unreliable narrator. Greg's teacher, Miss Hayes, reaches out to him and tries to make some sort of connection with him and hopes that that will help him along his way in school and in life. I thought Miss Hayes was a really good character and a really great touch to the book. One of the angles that went along with her character made me feel uneasy. A lot of this book made me feel uneasy. Not in a bad way, in like an effective way. Miss Hayes suggests that Greg starts to write things down in a journal and hopes that will help him collect his thoughts and help him have someone to talk to, because Greg barely speaks. He also, as well as like his social anxiety issues and his phobias, he also has a lisp. Which he gets bullied for quite a lot, so he basically doesn't really talk. And the book is told like that journal, which was a bit confusing at first because it is written to Alice, and that means when he sees Alice, he's saying things like, "You sit down," and I'm like, I'm not sitting down. but you get used to it very, very quickly. And my favourite thing about this book was how it was interlaced with snippets from police interviews with various people in Greg's life. Going through this book, we know that Greg does something. We know there's some reason that he is in quite a lot of trouble. And we know this through those police interviews. They talk to people that know him from school, they talk to his parents, they talk to his teacher, Miss Hayes. I think that's something that adds to the tension of the book, because you know that something is going to happen on a certain day. All the chapters are dated, so you know what day it is, and you know something is going to happen on that day. But obviously Greg doesn't know that it's going to happen, because the narrative flicks forward and backward between his diary and the police interviews. I did find this book very, very middle class, which isn't a problem in itself, but it means in a lot of ways I was unable to relate to Greg as much as I wanted to. Obviously there's a massive barrier in me connecting to him because he has such an experience that is unfamiliar to me, but him being quite wealthy made it difficult for me to get some sort of connection from him. I think that was a problem for me reading it, that I didn't connect with him at all. And in a way, I was much more interested in Alice's story, and I would love to hear more about her. In saying that, this was still a really, really good book. I would definitely recommend it to anyone, but like I said, particularly if you are interested in mental illness and you have enjoyed books like The Curious Incident, I think you would really, really enjoy this. It has been a while since I did a book review. I don't know why I fell out of love with doing them, but I definitely want to jump back into it and get started on doing them more regularly. So after I have this all sorted and uploaded, I will be doing a review of We're All Completely Beside Ourselves by Karen Joy Fowler, and I really hope you enjoyed this review and you will enjoy that one as well.